In order for everyone on the team to feel heard, and not necessarily even agreed with, but just their voices heard in that conversation, in that discussion, vulnerability-based trust has to be there. In order to have productive, healthy, safe conflict, again, vulnerability-based trust has to be there. And conflict, productive conflict, is, again, healthy conflict, safe conflict, is when everybody is heard. And now, of course, there's, again, how does EQ affect how you do conflict, how well you do conflict? What is going on, EQ gangsters? Thank you so much for joining us today, for whether you're watching on our YouTube channel or our podcast. Really excited to share some lessons that I recently learned from a training, a course, certification course that I just finished up, and some great lessons. They come from a book called 5 Dysfunctions of a Team by Patrick Lencioni. For those of y'all on YouTube, I'm holding the book up right now, The 5 Dysfunctions of a Team. They share a lot of this lesson, a lot of the lessons and a lot of the principles in a number of business schools around the country. So I wanted to share them all with you because as you're listening to these 5 dysfunctions or 5 behaviors, a certification course I took was called 5 Behaviors of a Cohesive Team, to go alongside the 5 dysfunctions of a team. So I want you to listen to and pay attention to how emotional intelligence impacts all 5 of the 5 dysfunctions of a team, or 5 behaviors of a cohesive team. So, and they build on each other. So if you're visualizing it as you're listening to this, imagine a pyramid on the bottom rung, and they build on each other. So you need one in order to have the other, in order to have the other, in order to have the other, so on and so forth. The first rung on the pyramid is vulnerability-based trust. Vulnerability-based trust, not positional trust based on someone's rank in the unit or position in the company, but vulnerability-based trust. And you can't fake that. That's you either have vulnerability-based trust or you don't have it. You can get it, but it requires some things from the leader of that organization. So vulnerability-based trust. And what's fascinating is how our personality, our respective personalities impact how we all view trust. So using the Personality Plus model, sanguine, choleric, melancholy, and phlegmatic from Personality Plus by Florence Littauer, great book, or the DISC model, the dominant personality, the influencer, the steady, or the conscientious. The bottom line is, or Myers-Briggs, every single personality type views and approaches trust very differently. It's important to recognize and realize what you are, self-awareness, and what those in your organization are, social awareness. And then have the self-management and social management to be able to interact with each other based on that understanding of how you and they approach trust, vulnerability-based trust, which leads to productive, healthy, and safe conflict. In order for everyone on the team to feel heard, and not necessarily even agreed with, but just their voices heard in that conversation, in that discussion, vulnerability-based trust has to be there. In order to have productive, healthy, safe conflict, again, vulnerability-based trust has to be there. And conflict, productive conflict is, again, healthy conflict, safe conflict is when everybody is heard. And now, of course, there's, again, how does EQ affect how you do conflict, how well you do conflict? Tremendously, right? And again, I have been that example of, I have had lots of conflict before. I say lots. I have had conflict before over the years, and my EQ, or more accurately, lack thereof, has absolutely impacted my ability to have safe, productive, healthy conflict. And so now once you do, assume, let's say you do have that safe, healthy, productive conflict, now that leads to your team being able to be all in, which is commitment. So full commitment, where again, people feel like they are heard and valued, member of the team, then they can be all in, they can be fully committed. Now, once you are fully committed to that respective organization, company, unit, team, family, then you can do peer-to-peer accountability, which is the next one. Peer-to-peer, so not accountability from the leader per se, not that you can't have that. An organization that is even more effective has peer-to-peer accountability, where you are helping each other and encouraging each other to have the highest performance, best performance, effective performance behavior from each member of the team, so that not one person carries the team, one person slows the team. Each member of the team is held accountable by each other. Then that leads to the best performance. And one of the authors, don't remember the author, who wrote a book about culture, phenomenal book on culture, also shared that dynamic, that the highest performing teams in the world, from SEAL Team 6 to the Googles, the Apples, they all have great peer-to-peer accountability, which leads to the most optimal, best outcomes and results possible. So results is the last one. So again, from bottom to top, the bottom rung of the pyramid to the top part of the pyramid: trust, conflict, commitment, accountability, and results. Trust, conflict, commitment, accountability, and results. And so when teams are not performing at optimal outcome and performance, then you will have the 5 dysfunctions of a team, right? You will, the 5 dysfunctions will lead to less than optimal performance. The more a team, commits to those 5 areas, the greater the outcome, the greater the performance, the greater the efficacy of that organization and that team. Again, every single rung, and think about it, is impacted by the individual and collective emotional intelligence of the team. And what's cool is, again, they go hand in hand, which is really neat. Just going through this training during our discussions and during our cohort discussions and stuff, it was fascinating. Just again, hearing about and hearing how emotional intelligence impacts each rung of that pyramid. If you have not checked out that book, I definitely recommend it. The 5 Dysfunctions of a Team by Patrick Lencioni. And also just do a quick assessment of your team. I just had a coaching client, corporate client. I just briefly ran through a quick assessment from each of the members of my corporate client, and how they rated themselves. Again, just a very quick assessment. So there's actually, what's really cool is there's actually a psychometric assessment that can be administered to a team to assess how they rate in each of those areas: trust, conflict, commitment, accountability, and results. And so anyway, it's fascinating. Highly recommend the book. And if you feel like your company, your organization could use this type of training, this type of assessment, definitely let me know. And you can go to eqgangster.com to connect with me and reach out, and we can maybe set up a call, set up a conversation, discussion. There are some parameters that are necessary on a team to be able to, utilize and maximize this type of training and information. But again, at a minimum, read the book because it is awesome. If you're a part of a team, definitely recommend the book. And again, if you want the next level and you're ready to see where your team is at, again, definitely reach out. And to also get more details on the membership, EQ Mafia, check out eqgangster.com/mafia, eqgangster.com/mafia to join a safe, supportive, encouraging environment where there's already probably 150 hours of content available as soon as we open up the membership. And in addition to that 100, 150, 200 hours of content that's already available, we will be doing 1 to 2 hours a month of group coaching, live group coaching within the membership to discuss relevant topics dealing with and involving emotional intelligence that are impacting all of us. That again, for iron sharpening, for growth as part of if you're ready to kind of take your emotional fitness program to the next level, definitely check out eqgangster.com/mafia. Thank you for sharing, subscribing, rating, reviewing the episodes that are relevant to you, whether again it be YouTube, our YouTube channel, or our podcast. Thank you so much for letting us be a part of your emotional fitness program.